This is day 4, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna start teaching her how to, we're gonna keep doing the heel and the recall and the stay. That's our foundation. But I'm gonna show her how to use it. So we're going to use the heel and the practice rep to travel to a place, which is just going to be some type of landmark on the property, a tree, the woods, and then release her for a potty break. Once she goes out and she checks things out, then I get to recall. That recall gets her back to me. I get to use assist stay if I want, or I could go right into heel depending on where she is. And we move to the next location, now teaching her that once you hear that beep, once you get recalled, I need the working state of mind, okay? And then we travel somewhere, stop again, put her in her sit, release her, she goes out and she uses the bathroom, sniffs, does her dog stuff, gets her break. As soon as she's recalled, it's right back to work. So that means for her, what she's gonna learn is, after she hears this beep, she comes and she heels and we walk together. No sniffing, no pulling, no barking, no over paying attention to things in the environment and reacting to them. Just follow, 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 follow. This is how we drive to the amusement park. We're not at the amusement park, okay? So then we get to the place we're going, we put the dog in a sit, put it in park, right? Get out of the car, which for us is to walk away from the dog while the dog's in a sit. And then that's just so we can proof the sit again every time. Break. Now the dog can get out of the car and go play. But as soon as they hear the beep, it's time to get back in the car and go. And there's rules in that car, okay? You can't react to all this other stuff out there, to the dogs and all that. Not that she's gonna be doing that, but dogs do that. But you can't also just walk away from me and pull me to go into spots in the environment that you'd like to go. This is you following me, and then when I release you at a particular place, that's where you can explore, okay? It's actually a win-win. The dog gets more walks, and everybody's happy, okay? So she's still learning. So that beep's going to tell her, follow me, okay? Good girl. So you get little moments. Good girl. There was a correction and the beep again. See, I get to even her out here. Good. See, when she's walking steady with me and calm, she's not pushing to get past me, just following by looking at where I'm going. Look if I start to change directions. Good girl. Good, look. She's like, do I have to keep following you? It's like, yep. So she's gonna learn it. You follow. We could be doing this for 2 hours. We could be walking somewhere for 2 hours. If you hear that beep, it's follow. All the rules, she's gonna be starting to be held accountable with the e-collar corrections. See, there's an e-collar correction. See, walking backwards, I can see all of her not paying attention. See? Good. Good, and you just see just how much difficulty the dog has to just follow you and not go into the environment and sniff the environment and all that. Not until she's released, until you say she can. Good girl. This is how you control a dog. This is like a good step to get a dog under your thumb. Good girl. Good girl. It creates that follower mentality when they hear that beep. They lock into it and they just start following. That's it. You see, this is how we can teach heel, because it's just going to end up being this. But come over here real quick. Camera. You guys need to see something cool. This is something that fascinates me. When I'm walking backwards like this, she wants to stop. That's what all this is. She's trying to figure out if there's a position to get me to stop. When I'm walking backwards like this, watch this. If she goes past me like that, that's how I keep her good girl. Then the praise, good girl. That's how I keep her on the train tracks. There she is. Now she's not acting funky. All that funky shit was her mind trying to say, I don't want to do it anymore. That's what the dogs learn when they come here. It's like, oh, it's not about you anymore, though. The human said to do it, so you do it, and that's how that's why you're here. There's 2 rules when you go home. You do what your human says, and you stop doing what they tell you to stop doing. And so we're dealing with that conversation right now. Even with an easier dog, she's an easier girl. You see what we call attitude. Already, can I check out? And we've been doing it for 3 minutes, you know? But watch, this is why I want you on that side. Once I get her tuned in here, this is what, see, watch the mind. See, this is her trying to get into a position to stop me, because in the beginning process, I would eventually stop, but I'm not stopping now. I just keep going backwards. Look there, this is submit. Watch her start to submit to it. There it is. Good girl. Good girl. There it is. Okay. Good girl. That's the spot. Not pushing up here, because her pushing up here is going to be a pushy heel. I need her to sit back, because if I spin around, if she's back there, it's good. But look, look. Boom. As soon as I spin around, she's like, I'm leaving. I'm going to be independent now. I spin back this way. Now I'm keeping my eye on her. She knows it. But watch this. Watch this. She's losing it. See? All those are corrections. So you're training the mind to stay with me, stay with me. It hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. You're already, from the beginning, you've been with me for a second, and then you're not with me, and then you're with me. So we're going after impulse control, respect, following mentality, everything with this exercise. Good. Watch it, she's trying to go past, you see? That's not okay, that's a pushy heel. Good. Good. Teach them to follow by looking where you are, looking at where you are. Good. Good. That's right. Isn't it incredible? Right? It gets boring for them. Good. Good. Look. As soon as I turn to the heel, that's what you're going to experience. As soon as you turn over to the heel, they're going to shoot out as if it's permission to. You know, like you're looking at them, you're watching them, they know that, and as soon as you do this. So as soon as they start to go back out, there's some dogs right here. As soon as they start to go back out, I turn around and do the railroad checks like this. And I correct. So eventually they don't shoot back out and they just follow you the same way. See, just a little bit there. So you can correct all that pushiness for the heel right even before you even teach the heel. Because as soon as she goes past me, that's when we know she's not following me anymore. Literally, she can't see me. She's looking at me. You can see her use her eyes to follow. That's what I'm teaching. Okay? So then if I do this, she should just follow my body. Look, now we're getting there. Now we're getting somewhere. Good girl. Good girl. But watch those eyes creep up if they go past. That's where the e-collar correction will come on. Good girl. Now we're getting somewhere. Now she's watching properly. Now she's following. Now she's being a good girl. We just had some dogs walk by too. She's really good with that. Okay, now I'm starting to say, hey, look, you can't see me. I know you can't see me. So there's pressure, 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 pressure's off. Right? I'm tapping, tapping. Stem, 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 stem. Stem, stem, stem's off. Right? And if she struggles with this, then what am I going to do? Wham. And then all of a sudden, miraculously, once she realizes this isn't the back of my body and she sees my face, boom, now she's locked in. She's locked in. Look, she's going to, there you go. Good girl. And then I'm going to give her a release. Good. That was successful. Good. You see how she didn't even realize she was following me in heel? She was just in follow mode, so then I turned around and she stayed following me at a good distance behind me. That's where I'm starting with this. Because what a dog does is that if this is their eyes, they're back here, they're following my leg, we're all good. They're paying attention to me. As soon as they're out here, they're looking at their own shit out there. And they're trying to determine what to do, right? Good girl. It was very hard for her. It's very hard for a lot of dogs, but even sweet dogs, it doesn't matter if they're brats, sweethearts, if they can't hold their attention on something, it's gonna be hard. If they're not used to doing what they're told for more than a second, it's going to be hard, because we just went for how many minutes?
7.
We went for 7 minutes, and I was saying for 7 minutes, pay attention to me. And all I'm asking you to do is walk with me. It's not a hard concept, but you have to pay attention. And there's birds chirping, and there's grass over here, so the dogs really struggle. Good news is it gets easier every single time, to the point where like 3 sessions down the road ain't nothing. It's nothing. It's easy for them, and they understand. This is why we need to do this part, which is release her and let her go and have some fun. She's gonna understand that's how we travel, right? That's how we get somewhere. Right now you're just learning the mechanics of it. Break. Good girl. Put it up high. Give that. This is your favorite part, isn't it? Good girl. Another cool part, what I'm doing right now, because it's really early on, I'm releasing her on the grass, you know, and then I'm doing the training on the pavement. It's just one more layer of information to take down the stress of is he gonna call me? Are we still working? Right now she knows just another layer of when I say break over here on the grass. I'm not gonna ask her to heel on the grass yet. Once she's getting good at this, then we're gonna heel on the grass. But this lets her know, like, you're free. Take a pee. And it's how it would be in most neighborhoods too. You know, you're walking on the sidewalk and you're free on the grass. Okay, just for the first session or two out here on this, because it makes it easier. All right, and then just back to the road, gives her a signal what we're gonna be doing. Here's the recall. Come. Good girl. Wanna try our sit stay? Sit. That's a nice young lady. Okay. Let's go. Good girl. Good girl. Nice work. That's nice. It's a mentality, guys. It's a mentality that we're looking for. Okay? Good. It gives me a chance to correct all those disengagements, every single one. Good girl. Did you see it? Can you see it? As soon as I spin around, she's like, that's the position that means once I see your butt, that means I'm out of here. And this isn't just her. This is every dog that I do this with for the most part. They're great. They're great. They're following fine while I'm walking backwards. But then as soon as I do this, they're woo. But look, it starts, all I have to do is correct for her passing. But it gives her the understanding to follow visually, and then look, can't see me? Boom, correction. Right? Now you see me, now you don't. Make sure you can see me by carrying yourself behind me. Look, bing. How much paying attention are you if watch? It's a little late, right? The response is late. But if she's here, if I'm walking backwards, she's watching more. If I go to do this stuff, it's much more responsive, right? It's great, good. This looks much better. And this is natural, you teach a dog this very quick, but for some reason, and it could be the past experiences, if you put her in the heel position where it means you turn like this, they assume it means to go out. So experiment with that, it's fun. There's another beat. Look, it's all with the eyes, she can't figure it out, she's losing it. There she is. There she is. Good girl, she's looking at the legs. She's losing it. Boom, correction. It's just such an effective way to work because I can see every mistake. The desire to go over to the camera lady. Everything. We see everything with the mind, boom. She's like, I'm not paying attention, you see? Every little, they're mild conversations, guys, but that's why you can't get your dog to walk right, because you're going after the big conversation. These are the problems. When I'm saying, look here and follow me, she's looking over there. That is why she pulls. That is the mentality of a pulling dog. They want to go do their own thing, and I'm sitting here saying, stay with me. And they're like, fuck, this isn't fun. So she's looking to look for ways to go do her own thing. And then when she's committed, she gets a pet on the head. Good. But every time, see, good. But every time she says I'm doing my own thing, there's a correction. So it's a mentality shift too. It's like, pay attention. We're going somewhere. Be quiet and follow. Right? Good girl. And when we get there, I'll let you know. Good girl. So now she's learning to follow. This is more important than teaching the heel command. Eventually teaching the heel command is easy after you do this. Look at her ride up on me though. Look at her ride right up. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, really close the gap. All I did was turn my back, and that's an opportunistic dog. It's like his back's turned. So now I'm, you know, so I need to teach her to stay back there in that mindset while I turn my back on her. She's already lost it. You see it? Good. Now she's back. She's taking direction. There she goes. As soon as she gets a taste of the old way of walking, which is I go and scan and I go and do my own thing, she wants to go right back into that mindset. I'm going after her mindset right now. It's like cattle on, like we're traveling with some cattle and I got you on a rope and we're going somewhere. You got to stay in a single file. Let's go. If our life was on the line here, you'd have to go in a straight line. We'd have to go somewhere. Right? Good girl. They need to know when it's time to be in serious mode, following the humans, and then when it's okay to go and be free and act more like a dog. And that's just domestication. She's sweet, but she's not very domesticated. You know? Good. She's domesticated in the sense she's not going to eat your face off, but she's not, you don't have control over her enough. You know, people don't have control over the dogs enough in general. Good. Look what we're making her do. This is boot camp, right? It's like stay in the line here. Good girl. Flip it around. Look at that close. But not as bad. Good. That's where she's learning. Look at it, guys. That's the spot. Now she's popping. Good girl. Good girl. Look, watch. Yes, I can use this kind of halfway. She's losing it again. She goes into her head instead of being visual with the landmarks. See? That's good. Right there is the problem right here. Watch her eyes. Watch where she goes. Where is that? That is a pulling dog. I know you can't see it if you don't know what you're looking for because you're used to her just pulling you everywhere. But because I stop and she ends up back there, that's a pulling dog. She's not paying attention. She doesn't even have the capacity. I'm stretching her brain to pay attention. Like, you need to learn to do that more. That when you're interacting with me and you're being calm and you're trying and you're listening, that's the space of mind that eventually you can't hold right now, will take up your whole day. You'll be able to do it all day, every day, 365. That's gonna be the thing that takes over that space. Every now and then, there'll be pockets of excitement and crazy. But for the most part, what I'm asking you to do now is gonna be the new way of you thinking, which is reading the rooms, figuring out your spot. Okay? Let's go. Good. Okay. That's a good girl. Okay. Leaving me again. Just playing up, that's just what's happening. She sees Julie, she starts to leave me. That is against the rules.
If I was the one doing the exercise, she'd want to leave and go see you.
Yes, it's whatever's fun. That's what dogs do, especially sweet dogs. They just do what's fun, and they don't want to do what's not fun. And this isn't fun. And this is what this is what we teach dogs: is when you're asked to do something, you do it even when you don't want to, because that's why you're coming here. That's a skill you do not have at home. If you had that at home, you wouldn't be here. If you listened when you didn't want to, or when it was difficult, you would not be here. The reason you're here is because either you don't listen at all, or you just don't listen to when it's difficult or when you don't want to. Guess what? That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you listen when you want to. That's not what we care about. What we care about is, do you listen when you don't want to? Good girl. And we change dogs' way of treating humans. Good girl. Look at her follow. Look at this. This is great. Right? You see it change. You see it change. As soon as I switched and the tail's wagging, it's like, yes, now we're getting ready to do a fun activity. Because dogs think in pictures, so their picture is this means pull the human down. That's what that means. So I'm getting, you see the tail wag when I flip the heel as if she's saying, yay, we're about to have some fun. It's like, no, heel is this now. This mindset that you don't like doing, that's what heel's gonna be. But right now, heel still means like, good girl, yeah. Gets her amped up. How insane is that to you guys? Okay, good. Starting to get it. Good. It's okay, because I'll teach heel later. I'm not teaching heel right now. I'm teaching a follower. If we're walking through the forest together and we're headed home and it's a 2-hour walk and you're not on a leash and it's 18:02, you're following me like this. You know what I mean? This is a thing that the dog needs to learn. Look, they can do it. This is proof in the pudding. A dog can follow a human without a leash, because that's what she's doing right now. It's not the leash. She's following a human's body because she was told to follow a human's body, and we can hold her accountable. This isn't heel, but it will be heel. I don't want her up here right now. I want her to follow me. Look, be behind me, so when I stop, you can stop. But don't sneak around front because we're not equal right now. Not right now. I need to be able to have her know that we're still in work mode. So if I stop, I don't want you up here because there's things out there I want to deal with, right? There could be dogs, there could be other people. If I stop, you stop behind me. You don't wrap yourself up in front and be like, okay, we're done. It's all about, are we gonna play now? What if this was real life? What if I had to walk you and we were in a serious situation? The dog needs to go into that mind where they're being in reality and they're adult-like. They're not being immature, they're following the leader. That's the mode I'm asking her to go into when she hears that beep. I'm not asking her to think about play. We're not gonna play or anything. This is the serious mode because this is what's gonna get us through the real world, not the fantasy world, right? Okay? When I say break, then you can do that stuff, okay? Good girl. She's doing really good, by the way. She's doing really good, but you see the struggle. I didn't pop her. I didn't, let her, she wasn't pulling me all over the place. That was a pulling dog, though. Doesn't look like a pulling dog. That is a, first of all, severe pulling dog. And what I was correcting was pulling before pulling. It's a mindset. So it's like, I'm following you, human. No, I'm not. I'm coming over here. And I correct it. And it's like, oh, poor dog. It's like, no, that's the pulling I'm correcting. I'm correcting the way she views me in this situation, the way she views her job and what's allowed and what's not. Now what we're going to get is we're going to get a dog who knows how to follow. They know how to lock into a healthy mentality, which means ignoring everything else and follow. Once I know my dog can snap into that, then I'll teach heel, because I want that to be the association to that word, okay? Break. Get on out, okay? You know, it's work for her. It's not fun, and you know she's a champ because some dogs, they don't deal with that well. What you've seen her deal with, she dealt with it really well. You know, she stuck with it. She did the lesson. She learned. She went where she's supposed to go. She learned what I wanted her to learn, so she's passing the test. We'll check up on it again before I put her away, but it looks like she's made the leap that I wanted her to make. Great, good for her. Some dogs, they're gonna get really frustrated with the same exact protocol, and who knows what they do. They could go at the leash, they could try to run away, they could come at you. How does the dog behave when it's told to do something it doesn't want to do and it's held accountable? That's all I care about. I don't care about how great it is at playing ball or all this. I want to know what happens when a human says, do this, and then what happens? When you get directed around, and then what happens when you get corrected for ignoring the direction? That's what I want to know. That's where you know the dog's true colors. Does the dog snap at you? Okay, well, we got some work to do. This is a sweet dog. She's a sweet girl. But still, this is a boring exercise and she's not used to using that part of her brain for an extended period of time. Okay? Good girl. Break. Yes, a good girl. You did a good job. Let's give her a little free time here. Can you go potty? I go potty. If she doesn't want to go check out the environment, maybe she can say hi to you. Go ahead.
Hi, Olive. Hi, honey. You baby girl. Hello.
Okay, good girl. She worked hard. She really picking up that lesson. Listen, it's really hard. It's really hard, but once they get it, it's like they get it, and it's good. And the cool thing is all that hard work, it gets that association of that mentality too. It's not just a body position, it is a mentality, and it's a real thing, and you can put it on command.
She's not even eating grass.
She's not even eating grass. No, I knew that grass thing, you know, it's like you can correct it solely on its own, like just say no to eating grass with a correction. And we will get there if I haven't touched it, it's just that the lifestyle changes. It balances the dog out, and a balanced dog doesn't do neurotic stuff. They drop it. So the neurotic stuff usually fades. If it's really bad, you can correct it on its own and it'll fade even more and you won't even see it, okay? But watch, as she becomes more balanced, she's going to be a great companion. My gosh, what a fantastic dog. She's going to have a wonderful off-leash obedience. She's going to be able to heel really nicely, really snappy, really confident. But also you'll be able to get her under your thumb and be able to shift that state of mind when she's in a bad hyperspace and you can't calm her down. You're going to be able to disagree with it, and a second later she's going to be calm and relaxed. Okay, so that's going to be helpful, being able to control the state of mind. Good girl. Good girl. Okay? Let's do a little follow now, but on the grass. Come. Good girl. Eventually, I won't have to walk backwards like this. And I probably don't even have to right now, but it's helping her. She's such a bad puller. I mean, like as bad as they come, really, you know?
I just thought you were trying to exercise your calf muscles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what will happen here. You've done this, right?
Yeah, I've
But
fallen
I
down.
start to turn sideways. Look, if you're really watching, watch. So you notice she'll start to close the gap as I start to turn my body. And I teach her not to do that. That's the whole name of the game. So watch, she's at a good distance. There's a good foot between us. I love it. I love that. As soon as I start doing this, hopefully she doesn't. Well, she hasn't noticed yet. Good girl. When she notices it's my back, you see her go faster and head up here, right? Good. But this is good. I'm okay with that. That's perfect. Good girl. Good girl. And we're gonna go somewhere. This is the best one yet. That was good. Good girl. That position was good. She didn't think about going past me. She kept me in her vision. Okay? Good girl. Girl. Break. Yes. What was that? Anything good? That's good. Now we're gonna start using it more. You know, I think I did that a little longer for you guys because I was trying to explain it for you guys. I probably what took 7 minutes, that beginning part probably would have took me like 3 or something. So, but still 7 minutes isn't that long. But for her, it probably felt like an hour. Okay. And then look, she's done. She came over here, she sniffed, she rubbed up on it, she did her thing. She comes over here, she sits, she's waiting for me. See, because we're creating a mentality. She knows to go to the next place, it's gonna be a recall, and I'm gonna show her where to go, okay? If you're looking for your sunglasses, I believe they're under that tree over there. Look. I like this carry. This is good. This is good. Good. I like that. That's my darling. Lots of rewards for that. We have not picked up the leash to teach this dog not to pull. We use recall to do it. That's what's fascinating to me about this protocol. Good girl. Throw her right back. Good. Good. But now, you know how easy it is to pick up a leash now and teach you? Really easy. Good. Because the dog's learning how to follow. You are a good girl. And the thing is, they know how to do it. Like, they know how to do it. They just choose not to do it for you. Most dogs understand a follow mode of some sort, especially if they're traveling together for a long period of time. We got to get them to snap into that. Good girl. Break. You knew it. Go ahead. See, now she's starting to get it. Okay, go sniff. Oh, he's just bringing me to places. That's what he's doing. And then when we get there, we have fun. Even if we play ball, no matter what we do, we can have fun. As soon as we hit that beep, it's back to traveling together, okay? And with all the rules that come along with that, no reacting to stuff, we're minding our own business, okay? We're not going up on other pack members or separate packs, strangers that we don't know, they're dogs and people. We don't do that. We don't go up on them. It's against the rules. Okay, so she's eating grass. I'll disagree with it. No. My timing was off. Did you guys see that? It has to be it's better if she's eating it. Good girl. But you see how easy it is to stop her from eating grass? It is not going to be difficult to stop her when you see it. It's not going to be difficult, not after this training. Oh, good girl. Okay, she knows we're going to move together. This is where all the attention's coming from. She's waiting for me because she knows that I'm in control of the transition, right? Let's go. Eat. But this time I'm going to start with my back turn. Look. Right? I started with my back turn that time. Turn her around. Good. It's just a join up. She'll get it. She'll get it even with my back turn. Look, now I'm in a place I've got her enough knowledge that I can turn my back and start teaching her to come to this side particularly. Beep, beep, beep. My hand will be here to get her. There it is. She just needs to learn the spot. Good girl. And now we're straight ahead. Oh, good girl. Now she's learning her visual of what's going to be heel. She's learning her visual right now, which is this leg, so I'll be dramatic with this leg. Good girl, to really see if she's following it, and she is. Look at her head. Good girl. And she gets rewarded for that level of paying attention to this leg here. Come here, you. My darling, I know. Come on. doing great. See what we did in this session? Look what we did. And we didn't even pick up a leash. I got that sound to stop her because I want her to be successful to some degree. That's okay, right? Right? It's fine. Listen, my point isn't to, hang on, let me let her go first. Break. That's a good deal. My point isn't to tell you not to use a leash. Of course, picking up a leash is great. I always use it. It's just to show you the strength of using the recall to then leverage teaching the heel command is, there's something to it. This dog is a bad pulling dog, and she's following me now behind me, and she hasn't had a leash picked up. That's pretty fucking cool. All right, watch. Good. Now when I do pick up the leash, which is the next step actually, sorry, Hank. Now I can start to refine the position in the rules a little bit more and teach respect to the leash pressure and all that. But I have the mentality of I have a dog who now knows how to practice the follower mentality and the overall position of being behind you. That's how you follow. You're not going to be able to follow too well if you can't see me. Okay, so then when I pick up the leash and I start teaching heel, all of a sudden it's a lot easier. And there's not this whole, let's bite the leash, let's do crocodile rolls, let's do all this. Of course, some dogs are going to do that anyway, just because they don't want something around their neck, and those dogs will have to go through that. But for the average dog, a lot of the frustration on the leash fades away because they learn how to follow. So then when you pick this up, it's easy peasy. Okay? All right. That was her session for today. Now what I'm going to do is do some place with her, like a little bit, just to wrap the session up to get her used to that pattern of going outside and doing something and coming in and laying on the place bed. Okay, let's give her, I'm going to release her. Okay, break. Okay, because now that frees me up to be able to do a recall if I have to, and then a send to place, which is just another rep in the context of how it'll actually be used in real life. Good girl. Good girl. Whoops, sorry, honey. She already knows that I'm going to ask her to go to that bed more than likely, because I did it yesterday. Place. Look, she doesn't know where to go. Look. She needs to look. 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 Look at this. Good girl. Hang on a second. I'm going to pause, put a pin in that. So, this is okay because she's just getting here. But this is what we want to look out for. It's not good. I say a word like place, and she knows I'm asking her to do a command. So she's looking everywhere about where to go except me. And this is common with dogs that I see, either get trained other places or haven't been trained. They don't know how to take direction very well. So when I say place, if you're confused, I need you to stop for a second, take those eyeballs and look at me, because I'm then going to point to the thing you're supposed to get on. But whenever you're confused, look at your handler and they can give you more information. This dog is looking for a thing to find without actually looking at me to see which one I want to go on, because there's a bed there, there's a bed there, there's a couch there. What am I saying place to? And so this is my style. And I put a pin in it so that I could teach you. And of course it takes away from her for a second. But she's in that moment, and as soon as the dog's in that moment of, I want to do what he's saying, you've seen it, watch it, but I don't know what he's saying, that is the ideal moment for me to get the dog's attention and then point. So then the dog starts to learn, oh, if I look at him, he'll tell me where to go. And so that's how I do it. The dog understands a certain tone. If I say something like this with a tone up here, the dog with one word and a certain energy to it, it's a command word usually. They're all said the same way. So she knows I'm trying to tell her to do something, she just doesn't know what. Now she needs to learn to look at me. This is how she learns to learn. I haven't taught her place, but she knows it means something because somebody's done it with her. But she knows I'm asking because of the tone I'm using. Watch. Place. See? What's happening? And then, look. Did you see? Did you see? Did you see? She looked up. I point. Good. Now that's one experience. I'll add on that. I'll have her in a sit stay. I'll be away from her so she can see my whole body. I'll stay placed. There'll be multiple place beds. She won't know which one to get to. She'll look at me and I'll point to one. And she'll learn, this is another session. She'll learn to hear a command and look at me if she needs it to see what I'm saying visually. And that's going to take away that stress of, what command? Where am I going? It's like, well, no, I'm talking to you. I say place, you can simply look up and then see me point and then get on. that's what she'll learn. The dog will feel a lot less fussy when they learn how to learn. So this is all this is like stuff the dog needs to learn before I'm teaching the commands, or at least while I'm teaching the commands, to be aware to teach the dog these little mechanics of, look at me. Why do dog trainers teach the dog to look at you? It's obvious, because the dog needs to learn to pay attention to take the signals. Certain dogs, like dogs that come in, that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing dogs down here with their vision. They're down here with their vision when they're trying to figure stuff out. And the only time they look at a human is if they think the human has something for them, like food or a treat. They're not actually trying to figure it out by analyzing what the human's saying with 100% of their effort. Once we get that, then we get dogs who learn like this. They learn real quick. This is a good girl. So let me just show you some troubleshooting on that. Break. You did a good girl. You did a good girl. So if I can get her to, I want her to see my body, right? So if I put her in a stay and then I say place. Sorry, we're not in the training room, we're in the garage. Hi, honey, darling. And I have 2 beds. This one's kind of put together. Like this. Come here, honey. I put her over here. Yes, dear. Okay. I put her over here. It could be on a sit, it can be a down. She's just staying over here. This gives her the good girl. Good girl. This gives her the chance to see me, my whole body. When you're holding a leash on a dog and you're trying to teach them and you're right here, this is the kind of stuff that causes this, right? Unless you're doing the good eye contact stuff. So look at me after you look at her. Now, if I'm talking to her and she's directly in front of me and I say plays, wherever this finger is going, she's already listening because I'm saying the word good girl. Hey, hey, hey. That's a good girl. You did a wonderful job. She has to look at me to get the answer of which one I want her to go on. So this is how we can teach a dog, ready? So when I say her name, it doesn't mean a command. It means to look at me, right? Olive. Place. Good. See how much better she did? Because I said her name, she looked at me, I said place, threw a finger down, she hopped right on. All the information was there, easy peasy, right? Good girl. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. This is why it's important to have the name of the dog mean to look at you. You don't have to use look at me if you do this right. The name of the dog should mean to look at you, but it shouldn't mean a command. A lot of people, if I said Ollie in that moment, what would have happened? If she wasn't through this training, she would have recalled. Her name means everything and nothing, because it means everything.
Or just not respond at all.
Or just not respond at all. It's her choice if she wants to, though, because she knows that word means her. But if I said Ollie, right, while she was over there, before training, she would have ran to me. And now that would have been a mess if I really needed my dog to get on the place bed, because now she just ran to me, and now she can't see me as well because she's looking at my fucking shins, you know? Versus being over there, I say her name, she just lifts her head up and says yes, and then I could either say good girl, or I could say down again, you know, double down, or I could say come, you know, place. She doesn't know what I'm gonna say, so if the name produces the dog to just kind of start shuffling through commands, that's not good. That's gonna fall apart in the real world. It's gonna be fussy. You'll get what you want, but it'll be fussy. You know, when it can be smooth. In that moment where she was panicking, if I could say, oh, Olive, she stops what she's doing and she looks at me, then I could give her the information and all of a sudden we're good. Okay? So the way the name thing works, the reason why it's messed up with every single dog that comes in here usually is because we say the name all the time. We say Olive, no. I don't like that. Olive, stop. Olive, no. And we also say, Olive, good girl. Olive, good girl. Olive, you want food? Olive, sit. Olive, down. Olive, come. Olive, 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 Olive. We don't have to do that. We have to say Olive once, and then the dog looks at us, and then we can have a conversation where I can just start saying sit, down, no, yes, good, without ever using the name again. Unless the dog's disengaged from me, I can say the name, I get engagement, you understand? So by saying Olive, sit, good. Olive, down, good. Olive, come, good. That creates a problem, because then you get Olive and then the dog starts shuffling through commands because Olive's the first word of all of them. Olive come is now one word. Olive place is now one word. Olive sit is now one word. And now I can look at that dog and I can say, Olive. And then if she has any inkling like I'm looking at her with disapproval, she's gonna shuffle through commands, right? Trying to guess based off her name. That becomes sloppy in the real world. It becomes sloppy. We need it clean. And it's this basic understanding that like this foundational, you gotta get the foundation right. But what we do is we don't work with puppies usually. We work with adult dogs who already have a bad foundation. That's why they struggle so much. That's why they're at like a rehab program pretty much. They're at an extended board and training, 3 to 4 weeks, because they already have a belief system and it's not working. It's actually not doing good. Now we actually have to fight the old belief system. Whereas we had an 8-week-old puppy, we raise it right. We don't have to fight an old belief system. We just create the one we want. Okay? Good. Olive. See? Did you see? Because we're battling the old. Now that, in this situation, if I'm sitting here eating or something, or if I'm sitting here, whatever I'm doing, and I say her name, I don't want her to guess the command. It becomes sloppy. It does. It becomes sloppy. In life. Olive. Good girl. Yes. I just want her to look at me and say yes. Yes, Josh, what would you like? You know? Olive. So just pointing out small moments that nobody ever notices because we're only worried about our dog barking and pulling and all this stuff. That's a communication error to me. Her name shouldn't mean come to me. Olive. Good girl. Attention, yes. Like if I'm talking to Julie, if I say Julie, if I expected you to come to me every time I said your name, she would be like, that's sexist. No, you just say I just say Julie and she looks at me and then I can say, could you come here for a minute? She doesn't just automatically assume because Josh spoke, I must recall to him, or I must sit or down or something, one of these. She's just going to say, yes, what do you want? It's the beginning of a conversation. And that's how I should work with a dog. Good girl. And it makes it a lot less sloppy. Olive. She's learning. Good girl. That's good. That's an intelligent dog. Break. Instead of getting up, she said yes by looking at me, and then I told her what. So she's learning how to converse. And I know it seems like nothing, and it seems like we're wasting our time over here, but I'm telling you, when she gets all those little pieces that she's missing, she feels people interact with her, she's gonna feel easier to communicate with. You know, she's gonna feel like an easier dog to be around. She understands humans better, you know, and what's expected. Good girl. Come on over here. Sit over here. Come on. You're such a good girl. Come here. Yes. What do we got for time?
We've been on for 45 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up then. Hey, honey. Good. Ew. Sit. We'll add that sit in there. Good girl. Stay. It's a good one. So this is the practice I can do. Olive. Place. Wrong one. Place. Good girl. And then I repeat the same thing when she gets on.
The more comfy one.
Good. And also the last one that I asked her to go on, so she wasn't thinking. She went on autopilot. She did not look at me. She had plenty of opportunity to look at me. She didn't. She looked at, go back to the footage. She's looking at me. I say place. Her eyes drop down. She looks at that bed. She runs over. She looks at that bed. She says, oh, I know this. This is where he just asked me to go. And it's like, no. See, you're assuming again. I'm actually pointing to this one. And these are the types of things that a dog learns to be able to do, and it makes a dog who can have better judgment, easier to direct. By the way, you're doing a good job. And this is very average mistake, normal mistakes, right? But this is how we learn to teach a dog to learn. Good. Break. That was good. See, she still feels like she did a good job. That was a good job. We'll try again now, okay? Okay, ready? Sit. Good. Stay. Now listen, once a dog gets this stuff, I ditch this. I don't keep doing this for days and days and days and days. I do it until they get what they understand the mechanics. They don't need it anymore, and then we don't ever do it again. Place. Okay, so correction. That was e-collar. That's got her to come over here. Good. Okay, now watch. Now this is experience stacking. Now we're going to be on the third one, and she's going to say, I got corrected for going on that one twice. She's going to have a hesitant moment, look at me, see me pointing, and then say, oh, and then get it right and realize if I look at him, I get the answer right. If I'm not sure, if I double check, I get the answer right. Good girl. Break. Good job. Stay. I'll try it from way over here. Don't like that this one's. Okay. Place. Okay, good girl, but this isn't done. That was good, but you know, we got to really test her. I put her back, and this time I asked her to go to that one. You know, with minimal body language to make sure she's really paying attention. Good girl. Break. Place. Yeah, that's right. I think somebody's, see how she's running with more confidence? I think she's like, oh, I get it. I think she just had her breakthrough moment. We'll try it one more time. I think someone just did. Who was it? Was it you? Okay. Olive. Olive. Good girl. Break. That's what I like. That's what I like. Wait. Did you do a good girl today? Did you help? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did a good girl. Are you a tired girl? I need to tire you out. You need that mental exercise. Stay. Place. Good girl. Nice work. Sit. Good girl. Place. Good girl. Another thing we can do is when she's in that sit, one of these times, once this is easy, one of these times I'm going to say her name and it's going to look like I'm going to send her to place because that's what I've done every time, and I'm going to ask her down. You see how we can get a dog to really, you have to think. You can't, I'm asking the dog to actually listen to what's coming out of my mouth and look at my body. Don't just go off from autopilot. So I'm really getting her to think. And that's going to get it to all sink in. I know, she's tired. She's tired, almost an hour of just non-stop. Okay. Break. She says, I don't want to break anymore. I want to stay on the bed. Come on. Good girl. Did mommy tell you this was vacation? Did she tell you when, she didn't tell you you were going to boot camp? She told you were going on vacation? Stay. This is what happens with patterns. This is where you can, if you only do patterns, you know, the dog will fall apart. But this is the beauty of patterns. I set a pattern, so she's now, in her mind, she says he's going to send me to a place bed. But watch. Along the same root problem, she doesn't pay attention, she just guesses, I'm not going to send her to a place bed. Olive. Down. Good catch. You see the blink? You see the blink? She goes, a little stutter blink. I'm seeing that a lot with dogs when I do this stuff. They think their mind's on one thing, I say another, and once they realize that, they do this like this quick blink, and it's just, and then they do the command, which is the best case scenario, good girl. What normally happens is I say down, and the dog literally runs to a place bed. Didn't even hear the word out of my mouth. And that just leads me to believe that that's the core issue. That's why dogs are struggling. They're not listening. They're not paying attention. Not to the degree they need to learn how. Good girl. Olive. Place. Good. So I will repeat this. This is new for her. This is a new thing she just learned. Tomorrow we repeat the new thing, okay? And we repeat it until it's not a problem. And then we add something new. Good girl.
And you can do that live
triangle
tomorrow.
Exercise.
You can do that live tomorrow in here.
Yeah, we can do this live tomorrow. Pick it up where we left off. It's like a triangle. You got place bed, and then an open space over here. And so we can use all of our commands, really. We can get all of them. We can even heel the dog off the bed, wrap around, send them to this place bed. We can do sit, down, place. We can do them all with this little setup. But it makes the dog have to pay attention instead of guessing so much. And that's part of her problem. She's a sweetheart, but she doesn't really listen. And when she listens, she's not really listening. So she's learning, and she's becoming a good girl. Yes, you are. Olive. Break. That's more like it, girl. That's more like it, girl. Yes, and then we get to sending the place and stuff, and she has to learn to like look at the direction on my arm and kind of be able to guess what bed to go to. These things are important. If I walk into a room and the dogs are all over the place, if I say place and I point over here, I want the dog to head in that direction, to go into the bed that's in that direction. If I point there, I want them to go in that direction. And it's invaluable for me as a dog owner to be able to do that kind of stuff. Place, boom, throw her on that one. You know what I mean? Good girl. I love it. And you are. You're a sweetheart. I know we pushed you a little today, but you had a breakthrough. You did. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Just a little insight on day 4 and how we use that railroad track to start teaching heel, and then also how we need to teach a dog to start looking at us to take direction, and this little triangle exercise, okay?